Saturday morning, we got a video that I need to finish and get out to you, but I need a quiet place to record. John's watching a video, Jay's playing the Wii. That won't work down there, because I actually need to talk during this video. She's singing in the bathroom. Bedroom's not available. I think over here will work. My wife teaches English online to Chinese kids, and I've got decent lights, and that's not sound baffling. It works that way. That's actually for heat because this room isn't very well insulated. I think this will work. Okay, so this video I'm gonna show the assembly and test drive for 3 drums. The curly Myrtle shell, the Ziri shell, and you haven't seen that one yet, so you get to see it for the first time here. I didn't do a build video for that one because the wood was challenging to work with, and so I really needed to focus on the build, and I just didn't bother with the camera. It was awful stuff to work with. Gorgeous in the end, but frustrating. Hard, brittle. The dust was horrible. Third, I finished the Leopard wood shell. Used my, it's going to be my own personal drum. That one's not going anywhere. Really love how it turned out. So, Myrtle, Ziri, Leopard wood. Here they are. So in your top left, you can see me taping up the Myrtle shell there. That's just to lay it, to make, it was a 10-stave drum, and it's gonna have 10 lugs, so it was really just to make sure that the spacing was proper. You know, when you jig up the shell to round it, I can never get it perfectly centered, and so if it's not perfectly centered, that's gonna throw off the width of each shell just a little bit from exact. So I just need to make sure. Now here I'm setting up a drilling jig, just really roughing it out, nothing fancy. Because one of the problems I've had in past builds is I hate the drilling process. It stresses me out because if you're not exact with the width, exact with the width of the distance between the holes for the lugs, for the lug mounts, then you've got to re-drill or make the holes bigger, then things don't tighten the way you want to, and it's just bad. Here, the holes that I'm drilling in the center of the shell, those are air vent holes. 10 air vents on this shell directly behind. Okay, now next, this is the Ziri shell. And I think that's, I don't know if you pronounce the E or not, Ziri. These are with this drum is going to have donor shells. These are 2 8-inch Tama Star Classic something or others. Now on the bottom left, you can see the beginnings, the marking for the Leopard wood. And again, just laying out the placement for the lugs. Now that shell, I don't even remember how many staves that was, so I have to really carefully measure for everything. I found the easiest way to measure is to get the circumference with a seamstresses, you know, sewers, tailors measuring tape, and get the full circumference, then divide by however many lugs you're doing. That's the easiest way. Up in the top left, the client wanted the shell to be a little bit thinner, and that's really the best way to go when you're drilling, because one of the worst parts of drilling is tear out. I hate getting the tear out on the inside, so if you can drill before you finish the carving, the shaping of the inside of the drum shell, you're in really good shape. All right, bottom left, you can see me starting to use the drilling jig. That worked really well. Top right, I'm marking out the placement for the lugs on the Ziri. That was a 12-stave drum, and it's a 10-lug drum, so I had to measure each of those. And I got a quick square finally, and that's a lot more accurate. All right, top left, redoing the bearing edges, the interior bearing edges. On both the top left and right, the Ziri and the Myrtle, those are full roundovers. You can see right there, in fact, on the Leopard wood drum, that I have a 45 on the inside. And the donor drum, because I wasn't going to cough up for a whole bunch of new hardware, it's just too darn expensive. That's my old IOT drum set Snare. I bought an IOT drum kit, I don't know, 20 years ago. Absolutely love it. It's one of the best drum sets I've ever played on, and I lent myself the lugs and the hardware from that, and it really worked out great. You know, you get the hardware on a drum shell, and it just dresses it up. I love the way it looks. Really happy with it. One of the difficulties on the Ziri shell up there, those lugs that came from the Tama, for some reason, and it's a good thing that I had 16 of them to work with, because 2 of them stripped out, the inside stripped out, and the lugs were useless. We had problems originally getting all the parts found, the client, because this client likes to pick his own hardware and pick his own wood and then ship it to me. That's the 3rd drum I've done for him. I've got 2 more in the works. And it was really lucky that he had to get an extra donor snare. And really, maybe this doesn't surprise you, but getting a donor snare, like a used snare on Amazon or on eBay or from Craigslist, that's really the best or the most affordable way to go when building a snare drum. You know, the lugs might be a little bit banged up or slightly scratched, or the chrome pitted a little bit, but it's the cheapest way to go by far. All right, so here we're just finishing up getting the hoops and the snares on, and next you're gonna see the test drives. I hope this works. I've never tried it this way before. We'll see. The 6-inch lugs, or the 6-inch tension rods on the Ziri were a bit of a find, and they actually don't match. Those are, you can see, those are regular chrome, and the rest of the drum is black nickel. The client found some black chrome lugs or tension rods and has them ready to go. All right, on to the audio test. See ya. Oh, by the way, not see ya. The audio test. It's just with the onboard microphone on this camera. Like I said before in the last in the last one, I don't have expensive audio equipment, and I'm not going to get expensive audio equipment, at least not in the near future. So we're just dealing with the onboard camera, and so I think it really gives you an honest sense of what the drum sounds like. Update. It is the end of Saturday. I've been working on this video all day, and I learned I made a mistake when I was filming the audio clips. They've been filmed over a long period of time because as the drums have been finished, I've shipped them out. And so now I only have the Leopard drum left. The other 2 are in Europe. I should have just, what I wanted to do was like put the different drums in different parts of the screen and do sort of like an ensemble. No, I thought I could maybe ad-lib something and then splice all the pieces together. I overestimated my video editing abilities. So instead of doing anything fancy and creative, I'm just going to lay out some of the different clips. Really quick before we do that, of course, the giveaway of the drum shells is coming up on the 13th. If you're still interested in that, click on the video. I'll put it right there. And go over and make sure you sign up, comment and stuff. You don't have to give me a compliment, just give me a comment, and that will qualify you for the drawing. Okay, on to the audio.